This week's episode is brought to you by the Wetaskiwin Arts and Music Festival Committee, Delcon Visual Arts, and Warren's Music. If you'd like to contact us, you can reach us on our Facebook page at Wetaskiwin WonkCast. Look up WonkCast. You can email us at wetwonkcast@gmail.com. And you can also find us on our website at delconvisualarts.com/wonkcast. We're also on Twitter. Look us up for WonkCast, and Instagram, the same handle.
Episode 17 of the WonkCast. Very excited for today's episode. It is 1 week until the second annual Wetaskiwin Arts and Music Festival, which is going to be taking place June 23rd. That's next Saturday already. It's come up very quick at By the Lake Park, so we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. But today in studio we are joined by a new artist that I just had the pleasure to meet today before we got the tape rolling here. Maria.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm very good.
Good.
Thanks.
Welcome on down to the podcast. This is your first time joining us today. We're very excited to have you. We had scheduled a couple other folks, but unfortunately they couldn't make it. But we hope to have them on in a future episode to chat with us. So I was just talking to you a little bit before we started taping, and you're a sculptor.
Oh, yes.
You said, which I believe you're the first sculptor we've had on the show so far. So that's very, very cool. I'm a big fan of sculpting. It takes a lot of work.
Oh, yes. And a lot of patience.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So do you do clay sculpting?
I do paper mache, actually.
Paper-mache
yes.
sculpting.
And then I'm adding other materials, like concrete materials such as cement or drywall mud to make it more sturdy.
That's very cool. That's very unique.
Yeah, just like experiment sometimes. Yeah.
I always ask kind of artists, and whether it's a painter, whether it's a singer, songwriter, how did you get into it? And a lot of them, kind of took courses and stuff when they were younger. But how does one get into sculpting? Did that kind of come from, when you were maybe a kid and maybe had Play-Doh and you kind of made some stuff out of Play-Doh? Did you develop a love for it around there?
For myself, I could say that based on from my probably deep sadness. Yeah. Okay. Like few years ago, was it like I started 2012 or 11? Yeah, 11. And then I was working in Israel, and then I was working with this family, and then my employer has her own gallery.
Oh, wow.
So she has her own gallery, and she's doing these sculptures and stuff. And then one day, I've got nothing to do, and then I got curious, maybe I should try. So, and then when she got home and then she saw what I made, for the first time, she was so amazed, wow, you made this? She was it took me 10 years to make an ugly dog, and this was I can see the texture already, keep doing it. And
so
then from then
really
on,
natural to you.
Yeah,
it wasn't something you spent kind of years learning. And
no, yeah,
which is amazing when it can kind of self-taught.
Yeah,
when it can kind of come like that. What's the first thing you sculpted? Was it just something simple? Women, okay.
Yeah. They're I have this dreams of Barbies, and then Cinderella. I made this squash fairy. Yeah, so pumpkin fairy, sorry. Okay. So there's 3 ladies and a fairy. That was my very first.
Amazing, out of a pumpkin.
Yeah. I don't have a picture, but I do have in my phone. But yeah, it's been a long time ago. And I just came from my vacation, and all my old works, I sent them back to the Philippines. And then when I went back home, I saw all my old works like, oh, okay, this is how I started. Like, I can see all the differences now. Like, oh, I can make the faces like better, like all the texture, everything, like curves. Yeah, maybe it gets perfect or better over time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very cool that you can see something like that just by kind of looking at it. And you focus mostly on the female form, or do you just focus on like kind of the head, or?
I don't mind like doing like male or female.
Mm-hmm.
Like, depends on my current emotion. That's what I'm doing. Like, even if I'm just driving or just sitting around and then all of a sudden something pop up in my head like, oh, I want to do this sculpture. Oh, I want to do this like a guy sitting. Or I want to make this. One time I made a clown, like a clown couple. They're a couple. So like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's
just kind of whatever you're
go
feeling
with
at the moment.
go with the flow, whatever I'm feeling in that moment.
So what is the particular sculpture you made of the pumpkin? What does that represent? Was that representing to a certain time in your life, or what were you feeling when you were kind of going through that?
Back then, I'm dreaming of fairies, like Cinderella ever after stories. Yeah.
The best thing about sculpting with that is you can think of something and you can bring it to life.
Oh, yes.
And you can kind of have it form right in front
Yes.
of you. One of my favorite things that I saw was a video where a guy took a pop can. I don't know if you saw this. It's on Facebook. And he shines the pop can down to the silver and opened it and then carved it with his thumbs and put different kind of faces or different shapes and forms into it.
Yeah.
That is, it's
I think
incredibly
I saw that.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I saw that too. Yeah.
It's neat to see. It's neat to see. So do you carve with like needles, or do you carve with like little, or do you do it with your hands?
I usually carve with my hands, but I have these small tools for like little shaping and like carving a little bit, but mostly with my hand. Like, even if it's a cement, I'm using my hand. And other people were like, oh, you're crazy, because cement is not good for your skin. So I don't know. I just like experimenting.
Well, it might be the next beauty secret, because you look very vibrant. So,
Oh, thank you.
yes, that's awesome that you can create that out of cement. How did you decide to make cement involved in it? Was it just a good bonding agent for it, or?
No, because 2 years ago, when I first did the art walk in Edmonton, everyone was asking me, can I put this outside? Like, each and everyone are asking, like, because people like putting stuff outside their houses, right? So I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I wish, but no. So from then on, I wanted to experiment, like, how can I make my art? How can I put my art outside, like outdoor? So, and you know, Canada, right? The weather, raining, or winter, or snowing, right? So, yeah. So that's why I have to come up with cement. So how do I make cement work with my art? Because cement is like, I find it's hard to work with, because if you're not careful, or if you don't know like what you're doing, it dries very fast. So, yeah.
So how do you keep it from drying so fast? I mean, I'd imagine if you're working on something, you're taking your time.
Actually, it's making me nuts, like to learn it by myself. And then last time when I went on vacation, I had these guys to reno my back kitchen, and then, well, they're like professionals with cement and those concrete stuff. So I asked them like techniques, like how can I do this again? Like if it's getting dry, or what should I do? If I wanted to make to soften it, what should I do? And like other stuff that can help my art. And they told me, and then they're very helpful. So yeah, in 2 months I learned this working with cement, which I'm gonna try when I come back here. I actually made one art while I was there and doing the reno at my house. Mm-hmm. So I'm also working with my art. So I was like, okay, it's not bad. So I thought it's that very hard. And then I realized that, okay, just few techniques from people that really knows it, how to do it. Yeah, just it's possible.
Yeah, and there's a lot of money to be made in sculpture as well, because every time I go to the Comic-Con sometimes, and some of the tables will have the busts, which is from the head up, as you know, and they'll have like the busts of these comic book characters and all this, and it's very detailed. And have you ever thought of doing something like that, maybe in the future, kind of incorporating it?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, because I'm like crazy about doing other stuff, new stuff. Like I'm not really a painter, but when I try, or if I do it, like I can, because I did a few paintings, and well, let's say it's not bad, because I really don't have. I didn't come from studying like artist, because everything is just self-taught, and then just basing on my emotion.
Those are my favorite stories to hear, the self-taught ones. Normally, like I said, when we talk to people, they come from that background or they had some influence on it in life, but to be completely self-taught with something as hard as sculpting, that means you're very talented, and you have just
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, for the natural ability for it, which I think is cool. How many sculptures do you think you've done so far? From the time you started, are you like in the hundreds? Are you like?
I wish I can lie, but no, it's not over 100 yet. Because 2 years ago I made 50, and then maybe 100, around there, 100, but not more than 120. Yeah, because when I was in Israel, I made a bunch of stuffs. Like every now and then I'm making, since materials and like my time is there, I can make it.
So they're all ranging from different sizes and.
Yes. I can make like life size. I tried life size, and then I can make little ones. Yeah.
Do you ever sometimes like just take like chocolate and try to carve it into something?
Oh, I did with fruits.
Chocolate sculptures?
No.
Some places have them. There was a place I went to in Vegas, and they had a Batman.
Wow.
That was completely like life size, carved out of milk chocolate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I love that type of stuff.
Yeah, worth it to see.
But that always worries me, because I'm like, well, you have the hot skin and chocolate. How would that keep from it melting? You'd have to have it frozen.
Amazing.
And that goes through my whole mind, and it's a disaster. But that's awesome that you do that. And ice sculpting's a big thing, too. Have you ever done anything like that?
On ice, yeah. No, not yet, but I would love to learn. Because the organizer in Edmonton, Kim, like she's doing this every year, the Ice on White.
Yes, Ice on White Festival, very popular. I've been there.
I always miss going and see the Ice on White, but maybe next year. But I'm always interested. Like, wow, look at those ice carving. It's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, and even on sand, like there's so much to do in sculpting. Yeah.
And the thing that amazes me, and when they can take like one solid block of something, whether it be ice, whether it be cement, and make it into something that's 3 or 4 different parts that completely takes away the math of possibility when you have something that's, this size that started from something like this, which is very cool.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, like, how people can make, like, from just one block and then make into something gorgeous. Yeah. Right?
It takes some tremendous talent and patience. So are you going to be at the Arts Festival that we're having here in a week?
Yes, I'm trying. I only have very little time to do to prepare. Yeah, so hopefully I want to, because right now I'm working on paintings. Although I'm working on paintings. It's easier for me because sculpture, it takes like a lot of time to get it dry and then work on it again. So I probably will display my others. I have some sculptures at home and some paintings there. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So do you do any kind of sculptures that represent kind of your story of originality and coming from the Philippines and anything like that? Anything representing
myself, are you talking about? Yeah, I always have that sculptures like that, like those like sadness or like different emotions that I have. Yeah, I always have that. I have sculptures.
And the difference that I love between paintings and sculpture, like I said, when you can take something and bring it to life, I think you feel the emotion more of it. Because you look and you said that was a lot of time and energy put into that. Not that there wasn't a lot of time and energy put into paintings, but there's something about sculpture that makes you kind of feel more personal with the piece.
Yes, yes.
Is that the same kind of feeling for you when you're making it?
Oh, yes, definitely. Every time, like, I'm always, like, happy every time, like, I finish a piece, even if it's just, like for others, like, they don't understand, what is this? Like, what is she doing? What is he doing? Like, for myself, I was like, wow, that's exactly what I'm feeling right now. Like, I'm super, super sad, or I'm super, super happy. Yeah, something like that. Or I wanted to express something like, when I like someone, I wanted to express that with my sculpture, and then I will post it, and then that person will see it. Like, I hope he can get the message. That's something great. Like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm crazy.
The most I got is chocolate bar. That's pretty good. Yeah. I like the sculpting.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you said you're just starting into painting now too, and you're going to be doing some painting?
Yes. Yeah, I made few paintings a few years ago. So I'm just trying it again. So because I got those pictures like on my trip, like it's so beautiful that I wanted to paint it. Like, I want that.
So you painted you're painting stuff kind of you've seen from your trip, or are you painting stuff that kind of just comes to your mind and maybe something that you're going through again?
Mostly my trips. Like,
so what's one of the things that you were saying the ocean is one of the things that you painted?
Ocean. Yes, the sky, the ocean. Like, it's so beautiful. I don't know how to say it, but it's such a paradise place that it's in my home country, but I've never been. It's my first time in that place. I've been bragging to all my friends that, I went to this place and it's so beautiful, like it's so magical.
Yes.
And the best thing about it, it's very cheap. Like, you don't have to spend as much money. It's just the place itself that you would be amazed.
Right. And the people.
Oh, yes. Everyone's very nice there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the best time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How long ago did you go there?
2 months.
2 months ago?
Yeah. No, I stayed there for 2 months. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I just got back the 4th. No, it's 16. So 12. No, almost 2 weeks
that's
back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes. I wish I can stay some more, but I have to come back here.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We appreciate having you. So when you're at the festival, if you come to the festival, are you going to be bringing your paintings, or are you going to be bringing some of your sculptures?
I think both of them. Yeah.
Are you going to be doing any live kind of maybe demos of a painting?
Why not?
And showing people?
Yeah.
Because I think sculpting is something a lot of people don't get to see regularly. We see just the finished product when we go into an art gallery or something on display somewhere, but we never see the work that kind of gets actually put into it.
Work in progress. Yeah, I always do that because I did art walk for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So always I'm working on something while on the street. Yeah, it's cool. Like, just don't mind people. Like, just keep doing what you're doing, and it feels better. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling that people are like, "Oh, is that how you do it? Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's amazing. Oh, thank you." I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Because I think we all kind of wonder when we see it, like, how do they make that? Like, how is that? It's so kind of just cool and different to see that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't appreciate the time and energy put into it. And I think they will now by listening to this podcast. They'll have a whole different kind of perspective of what goes into something.
Yeah.
When you see something like that. It's very cool. One of my favorites.
So I can tell just by the big smile on your face that you've been in here talking about your art. And for instance, right now, you obviously sculpt and paint by emotion.
Oh, yes.
And it's obviously a work of the mind, not as well as just the hands, because you have to translate it from your mind to your hands.
Yeah, I'm always like this. Whenever talking about art, like I'm like, oh my God, I'm overflowing. Like, so sometimes when I don't have like I'm uninspired or feeling lazy or I'm feeling down, what I do is going to art galleries. I went to Camrose, and then right away I will be light up. Like, wow, I'm always like, yes, I will do this. I will try to do this. Like, I will get back on my feet and do this shit. Yeah.
That's so amazing. Yeah. Because it's such a spiritual release for the mind when you, like you said, when you're kind of feeling not all there and you need that uplift, and then you walk in and you see what somebody else created. It gives you that boost to kind of come back and say,
yes,
hey,
exactly. It doesn't have to be the same art or like whatever, but in my own kind of art, like, yes, I will, like, it's like, inspiring me to do my own and kick my butt to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Do you ever have those days where you just don't really want to do anything?
Yes.
And then you might look at something you created before. You might look at your work from before, and you might have this new kind of wave of inspiration come over you and say, you know what, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this into.
Oh, yes. I've had that lots of times, like when I don't want to do nothing at all, like no. But then I only had like limit time for myself that I can be lazy or not doing anything. Usually like sometimes like enough of this, because even I am getting tired of not doing anything. Yeah. My hands got to do something. Yeah. I need to do something. My head has to work. Like,
I think that's the best time when inspiration comes forward, is when you're just kind of sitting there and you have nothing going on and you have all that extra time to think and put that energy somewhere. Yeah. Is when you say, hey, you know what? Let's go try this, even if it doesn't work out, or let's go try that thing I was thinking about last week.
Yeah.
Do you ever like draw something, like jot something down and then go and sculpt it later as kind of a reminder? Like if you're maybe somewhere else and you're not around your tools, you're not around your sculpting, do you just kind of say, oh, that'd be an interesting kind of idea, and write it down or draw it?
No, not drawing. Like I'm just putting it in my head, and then like, oh, I want to make that, like a guy sitting, or a guy like a man's sadness, like, okay, I will make that. And what I'm doing to get the curves and shapes of people, like like asking friends, like, hey, can you do this pose for me?
Oh, very
can
cool.
you sit like this for me? And like, can you lie down for me, please? That's what I'm doing with my friends.
Good friends.
Yeah.
To have that patience to to work with you.
I'm not asking them like to sit there for hours.
Just so you get the outline or
certain
gotcha.
curve or certain shape.
Gotcha.
And then I know. Thank you.
Okay, I gotta see you next week. We'll see.
Okay, yeah. Okay. See when I need you again. Okay, I'll call you back.
That's very cool. What sculpture would you say took you the longest to make, if you have one?
There's this one here at Dalcon Gallery.
Yeah.
It's that bronze guy.
Oh, that's your work.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I walk by that all the time. I see that one all the time. That's amazing. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, when I started it, I was super, super, super inspired, like to make it. And then, things are coming up. It's nice. And then when I made the face, like even that person said that, it looks exactly like me. Because I asked him, can I make a portrait of you? And then after that, I don't know what to do with it. Like, he asked me, what is that? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to express like the relationship between me and that sculpture, right? So, since I'm so puzzled, so that's why it turned out to be a puzzle. Like, I put puzzle things on like everywhere, like covered it with the puzzle thing. Yeah, that's why it turned out like that.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I love to hear the stories of kind of creation like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I'd feel a little bit weird just like seeing my face or something recreated like that, and that much time and energy put something into. It just has that humanly like feeling like, wow, someone put that much work into me, like that. But at the same time, it's so cool and so amazing that it gives you this like two feelings coming at you. They're like, wow, that's awesome. What was that your hardest sculpture to do?
Not hard. Like it took me the longest time to finish it because I don't know. Like I stopped for a while because I don't know what to do with it. Yeah. Like sometimes it happens and I'm like, oh, what to do with this art? Because sometimes I don't know if my connection with that art stopped or like I suddenly, oh, okay, I'll do something else. Like. Yeah. So, but in the end, I have to finish it. Because when I'm looking at it every time, like, oh, I've got to finish it. Yeah. Yeah, in any way. So I have to decide what to do with it. The hardest sculpture, that was your question, right? Mm-hmm. I was in Israel. I made this, there's this saying, the thinker, the doer, and the dreamer, right? Absolutely. So I made that, like, there was a guy, like, just, doing nothing, and, like, his eyes closed, and then there was another guy on top of his head, and another guy, like, I made stairs in front of that first guy, like the thinking guy. Yeah. So I made a stairs. One is climbing over it. So one of them is the thinker, the doer, and the dreamer. Right. Dreamer is the one on top of the thinker.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that. Like I have to think of how to put these guys like connected, like in one sculpture. So yeah, put me like a lot of thinking. Yeah, lots of materials just to put them all together. Absolutely. Yeah.
What's your average time for spending on a sculpture?
Average.
Something like that you did, the hardest one. How long did that take you? A couple weeks, maybe a month, a couple months?
Say 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Wow.
Yes.
That's a long time.
But that's not including when you have to wait to get it dry and then put another like patching.
So that's total working time.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. So something like the puzzle piece you're talking about there, how long did that take you?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? That's not bad. Well, yeah. Pretty quick.
The puzzle. Oh, you're talking about the bronze?
Yeah, the bronze.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I got lost. Yeah, sorry. That's I think like a month or so. Like 5 weeks. Say 5 weeks. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of different materials in that, or did you sculpt it all out of, say, like...
no, it's just same materials.
Wow. Yeah. I don't want you to divulge what you're using, of course, but I mean, that's a lot of work, for sure.
Yeah.
So is there anyone or anybody in particular that you'd like to mention that has maybe been the biggest influence in your artistic career, or anybody you want to thank and say if it wasn't for them that you wouldn't be where you are right now, or put me on the spot?
Oh my God. Oh.
She was comfortable right up until now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, blah, blah, blah. My family. No. Yeah, no. It's my family, but art, no. Art has nothing to do with family, right? Yeah. So, no, I just don't want to mention these people, like, that has been my inspiration, because every art that I made is inspired by, like, different persons.
A long list,
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, what is my, current, emotion towards that person. Mm-hmm. So, like, whether it's friendship or love, right? So, yeah.
That's a very cool interpretation. Mm-hmm. I like hearing that, how you make it a personal connection to someone, as a lot of us artists do, but a lot of artists also focus on nature and stuff like this, but you bring such a a personality to it, which I...
Yes, that's why every time I'm finishing a piece, I was like, oh, I'm so in love with you. I was like, did I make this? Wow, I'm so amazed. Like, because I know this is just based on my emotion, and I want that person or people to feel that this is what I feel about you, right? So I was like, oh, even I am amazed. I'm sorry, I'm not bragging or whatever. It's just like I can't believe that I made a particular every finished product.
Well, it's an incredible feeling when you can do something like that. I mean, even as musicians too, we can figure out a part to a song or come up with something, and you go, wow, that was really good. I didn't know I could do that. Right?
Yeah, so maybe that's the artist feeling. Yeah, when you finish something or achieve something, yeah, that's good.
That's awesome. So again, Arts and Music Festival next weekend. Well, that's coming fast.
Oh yeah! Oh, so soon!
Yeah,
oh wow!
It just peeks around the corner and then it's gone again until next year.
Yeah.
And then, so we really hope to see you there, and we really hope to...
it's my first time being part of the Wetaskiwin Art and Music Festival. Yeah, so I wanted to give it a try. Because this is just in Wetaskiwin. I live in Wetaskiwin. It's more convenient and accessible for me. And I think it's a very exciting event.
Yeah. I just had another question that I kind of thought to ask you here. You definitely have the catalog of work. Have you ever thought of opening your own gallery at any kind of point?
Yes. I was like, I'm dreaming of even just a very small stall or place. It doesn't have to be an art gallery. Yeah. It can be a studio, and then I will open it to the public, and people will come by and see I'm working there, and then people will see all my work. Yes.
Very cool. I would love to see that one day.
Someday.
I'll remember that name. Maria joining us for episode 17 of the WonkCast. Great chatting with you.
Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. You're welcome back anytime. I definitely learned a lot myself about sculpting that I was definitely, I don't want to say uneducated, but unfamiliar with. Mm-hmm. I was definitely unfamiliar with a lot of the process, and you shine some light on that for me, being an art fan. So I thank you very much. We will see you folks next week, live from the Wetaskiwin Arts and Music Festival, where we will be interviewing some artists who are performing there. So next time you hear us, we're going to be chatting with some great folks down there at By Lake Park. Come down, meet us, and come put our faces to the voices, I guess you could say, if that makes sense. Thank you so much. Take care, and we'll see you next week.
This week's episode was brought to you by the Wetaskiwin Arts and Music Festival Committee, Delcon Visual Arts, and Warren's Music.